Hello. Welcome back to another session of Shit Happens, coming live to you on a Saturday, a very cloudy, rainy Saturday. Atlanta weather, yeah, it's legit playing bipolar, bipolar. But I have an amazing guest with me today, and you have to be amazing for me to not cancel on you today because every part of me wanted to cancel and stay in bed, but here we are, right? Here we are. Oh, shit happens where shit always happens. And I met this incredible person at Podfest, and I just love everything she does in the world of social media, community, and sports. And I just want to dive into that with her. So let me go ahead and bring on the incredible Katie. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey P, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
Living the dream every day.
I love that. Living your dream. I love that. What is your dream, Kaylin?
My dream is just to be happy, and that's honestly been the goal since I was in high school. The motto was always love what you do, and you never work a day in your life, and I get to do that. So I'm very very grateful.
I love that. I love that. And you are a happy person. Like maybe it was just the 4 days, but or like every time I saw you, you were just happy. And so far, when I see you on social media, you're just happy. So I love that. I love happy people. You know, there's something about happy people. Life is going life regardless. You just gotta stay happy.
For sure. Yeah, that's one of the keys, right? I mean, there's a lot of people out there who they're not living present. They're thinking about things that don't matter and things that are, yet to happen, happened so far ago, and their worries that they can't change, right? So like, just staying present and always being happy is kind of like my thing.
So true. Even out of our control, like right now, I don't like this weather. I can't do anything about it, but I can decide whether to be happy or sad because regardless, the weather is gonna be how it's gonna be.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to, thank you for your awesome intro. I appreciate, you still coming on and doing this with me today. It's pretty dreary here today in Philly as well. So, and I had to get an oil change this morning. So
Oh,
I'm
then
happy to be here.
me too. I am happy to be here as well, and I'm just gonna be real. As soon as this is done, I put on clothes for you because I did not have clothes on. As soon as this is done, I'm taking the clothes back off and probably switching off my phone because I woke up in the morning and I had to do something, and then I was like, I'm gonna go back and nap until your time. But then, as soon as I touched my phone, I ended up creating content and posting content. And next thing I know, oh shit, my alarm for 12 o'clock, which was supposed to wake me up from my nap, is ringing. I'm like, I did not take no nap. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
going
I
to.
feel that. That's how it always goes, right? Naps
The
are
phone
not
is
a
such a
thing.
distracting shit. Like,
Oh
oh
my
my God.
goodness.
So you're in Philly. Are you born and raised in Philly?
Yeah, so I'm from just outside of Philadelphia, in Bucks County. Um, that's a pretty awesome place to grow up. You have New Hope right around the corner from where I grew up, which is like a super historic town. But now I live in Delaware County, which is Delco, and there's a lot of memes made about Delco. So if you search Delco, you'll see a lot of funny stuff, a lot of funny accents.
How do you spell that?
Delco, Delco.
Uh-huh, I'm going to do that. But you see, I might not end up getting nap because if I start seeing all the memes, I might, you see one meme and then you go in it, and next thing you are in such a deep meme hole, you don't know how to come back.
Exactly.
My friends are gonna have a hard time because the best part about memes is sharing them with your people so that you
Right.
don't laugh alone. So they're gonna be getting constant meme throughout the whole day. I'm gonna be like, go blame Caitlin because she's the one who told me to go look at these memes. They're gonna come for you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Send them my way. I have a ton of memes that I can send just about being a Philadelphian. My own friends from Philadelphia make fun of me because of my own accent, because my accent is different from where I grew up compared to where I live now, which is hilarious too. So shout out to Lee, who is constantly making me say things in my North Philly accent.
So you sold out. You sold out. You sold out your home ground accent to a new accent.
Yeah, exactly. I live in like a southwest part of the city now, or just outside of the southwest part of the city, and where I grew up is more northeast, so it's a different accent.
That's funny that your friend makes fun of you because my friends used to make fun of me as well because my accent is now kind of a mixture of every country I've lived in because I move around a lot and I hardly go home. And for those who are wondering, home for me is in Tanzania, that's in East Africa. So anytime I'd go home, it would be like after 5 years or six or whatever. And they'll be like, we just need to take your passport away because you're no longer Tanzanian, you're officially a tourist in your own country. Because every time I go, things have changed. And right now, I haven't been home in 10 years. So, like, you know
Wow,
how much shit happens in 10 years?
for sure.
Like, so I'm like, I'm going to be there, like, so what is this? I hope I still know how to use our currency because,
Oh my goodness.
and sometimes it's reality. Like, I don't remember, but then people are going to be looking at you like, oh, you're trying to act brand new now. You're trying to act like you don't know all this shit. So that's gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna need to vlog when I go home for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be great.
But speaking of Philadelphia, you are so much into sports. I want us to talk about your journey because it's social media, it's sports, it's community, and you were journalism. So how did all those come into play together? Like, did you first start with journalism and then got into sports, or was it social media then sports, or all at once? Like, I'm very curious.
Sure. So my background is actually very unique. I grew up,
Indeed, it is. Indeed.
I appreciate that. But I grew up, I was a big, baseball fan. I played softball my whole life growing up. I played through college. And when I was in high school, the dream really was to impact kids using sports, right? Like I wanted to be able to show them um, that they have like a way to like express themselves through sports. So the dream was to teach phys ed. I thought that that was the only way that I was going to get that done, right? So I went to school to be a gym teacher. And I loved it. I had a great time. I got to play pickleball for grades. So that's, a lot of fun.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, but I remember I know y'all call it gym. We also used to call it like PE, physical education, whatever. But we most people tried to get out of that because
Yeah.
no kid wanted to
No,
exercise unless it was basketball day or something. But most of that also it wasn't a part of PE because we had activities where like sports, like basketball was one of the sports activity or anything. So how you said it was a lot of fun, but was these kids that engaged, or you just found ways to make the kids engaged? Because I know I wasn't a big fan of P. Like
well, so I never actually got to the point where I taught phys ed, but when I was in high school, I took it to
ah,
the next level where kids were sitting out. We needed 2 gym classes in order to graduate from my high school. I took 6 in high school. So, and then on top of that, like in those 6, 2 of them were swimming classes. So I was taking parts of my day and I was swimming and earning gym credits. And I really enjoyed being able to be physical during school and play sports, and that was like something that I really really loved.
me too.
Um
I hated PE, but I still protect him. Like I played
yeah,
basketball, I took swimming. Like those were my shit. But like the PE in itself, like the running around and all that, I was just like, no,
for
no, I
sure.
don't want.
I gotta preface it with this. Like, I had some really good phys ed teachers in my time, and that's really what inspired me to wanna impact kids using sports because they impacted me in such a way, right? So,
Yeah.
those teachers had me coming to class every day and had me, excited to show up and do phys ed. Um, so then when I was in or in college, it was the same thing. I got to, take gym classes. This time they meant a little bit more because I was working towards a degree where then I would be able to impact students as well. But that was a lot of fun. By the end of my time in college, though, I wasn't really feeling it anymore. So that's kind of how I got to where I am today is, during that whole time as well, during high school, I took media classes. So I got to know, how to operate a camera and do a lot of studio work. So that was very valuable. And then I also, managed a lot of social media communities as a high schooler. I was running Facebook pages and Facebook groups and doing a lot of fun things that way. And if you remember back in like 2015, 2016, there was a website called the Odyssey Online.
The what?
The Odyssey Online.
Oh, I never knew about that one.
Yeah, so it was like a journalism type of thing that was for college students to write articles about whatever they felt like, right?
You see, that's an American thing, I wasn't in America at that time. Wait,
Yeah.
2016?
Yeah.
I was here. I came to America in 2014.
Okay.
See, I'm learning shit. You're already teaching me shit.
I love that. Well, it was for college students, and they were setting up these communities at different schools for these journalists. And I actually set mine up for my school, and I actually set one up for my township as well, where I was the editor-in-chief, and my job was to recruit kids my own age to write for this page. And I was actually one of the fastest growing communities that they had on the site. So I just, I kind of naturally had that community building, thing. And that was, I really enjoyed that. So I got very fortunate the summer before my senior year.
I'm sorry, I kind of got distracted. Who's Mr. Red over there?
Gritty? So that
I was like, wait. In the beginning, I was like, is that Santa Claus? Do you still have your Christmas decorations? And I was like, I'm sorry.
No, it is okay. That is Gritty. He is the Flyers mascot. So he came around in 2018 or 2019, excuse me. And he is one of my favorite things.
I love that.
Looking around my office, I've got like 12 of them just in my office in the studio.
See, you should ship one all the way here so that they can hang with Paula.
Hey, but I'll send you one, Paula. Seriously, I'll get you a plush one.
Oh my god, yes! Please. Oh my god, yes!
Absolutely. Let's see. I have another one right here.
Oh my god! Look at that! I love it. Okay, I'm sorry I distracted you.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But I mean, how can you not? Like, it's so cute.
He's wonderful.
Yes, like, oh my god.
I'll send you some videos that he does as well because he's really, really funny. He's an icon in Philadelphia.
Hey, yes, please send him my way.
So anyway, back to how I got where I'm at. I was very fortunate the summer before my senior year. I ran into my current boss, who I was a fan of all things. He was doing some really cool stuff on social media with hockey, relating to hockey. And I was still a new hockey fan. I didn't get into hockey until I was 20. So, that was really cool because just to see the progression to where I am now over the last 6 years has been crazy. But I ran into this guy that I was a really big fan of at a concert of all places. And I had a camera with me because I enjoy photography and I was doing some band photography there. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I was like, hey, if you guys ever do anything like cool and you need another camera hand, let me know. I'd love to, work with you guys a little bit. And, I did that and I left quite an impression. I remember after my first time working with them, they were just excited to have me back. And here I am helping to run all of the communities and all of the companies that they have here. So it's been really cool.
I love that. And one thing that stood out from your story is you literally went for it. I feel like most people are scared about asking or just saying, hey, if you're ever looking for, I'm available, just to put it out there. Because again, who knew if you'd have gotten that opportunity if you hadn't told them, right? Because now they have you in their mind and look at all the amazing stuff you've ever got to do. Like I taught the Moped. I remember when I met the Moped boys in 2022, and then in 2023, I was like, I want to work for you guys. So here's my resume. Whenever you're ready for my energy or there's a position ready for me, I don't care what it has to be. I'm willing to start from the bottom, but I just want you all to think about me.
For
And
sure.
and most of the people think the reason they don't want to do that because we are always fearful of that no, right?
Right.
But that no, it could be just not right now because of course they're not hiring right now, or they don't have that position available right now, or you're not perfect fit for them right now or what they're looking for, but they'll still have you in mind for future, right? Or maybe they'll put you on to somebody else who really needs you and they see
Right.
you're fit for them. So it's always good to put yourself out there. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
And you are a busy student, like you really did shit at school, like
Yeah, so like I said, I was still majoring in phys ed while I was interning with what was called back then We Live Hockey. That's now transformed into, one of my podcasts. But we were traveling all over the country and I was still studying to be a gym teacher, and that was like so much fun because I was meeting so many famous people and really learning more in depth about the hockey culture and the hockey world. I was meeting people like Mark Messier and all these really big names in the sport of hockey as somebody who was brand new to the sport, and brand new to
it
my
was a
team too.
dream, right?
Yeah, it was
Like a dream
amazing.
coming to reality. Like I don't know anything about hockey, so even when you mention those names, I'm just like, who is it? But I'm imagining them in my world. That type of famous
Right,
person I come along. That's how you are feeling. So I can still feel
exactly.
the excitement within.
Exactly. And I wound up finishing and got my degree in phys ed, but there was a
You
spot
never used it.
available. I never well, I kind of did. I got to teach a homeschool pod first grade, but it wasn't phys ed, so but that's a whole separate story. My student teaching semester was actually spring 2020, so you can imagine how that went.
Wow, how did that go? Because 2020 was.
Yeah, it was
And
crazy.
like spring was just right there, like in the
Mhm.
middle of all of it.
So I had a blast. I was already leaning towards not wanting to teach at that point, but I was still having a blast in doing the placement. Um, the world shut down. They told us all to go home. I remember the kids like had that Friday off after everything happened. They gave the kids Friday off. They kept all the teachers in school, and they kind of broke the news to us that we were going to be off for 2 weeks. And my placement teacher was like, "Nah, just go home. Like, you don't have to do anything for me." So a couple weeks go by, and my school contacts all of the teachers that were placed, and they decided that they weren't gonna have us like do any work for the teachers that we were working with, and instead they were just gonna have us teaching each other lessons to get us the grade that we needed to get to finish. So I graduated and I got my degree in phys ed, but that was kind of the end of it for me.
Interesting. It's funny how, we always assume this is the way we're supposed to go, and then, well, technically, that's why I really love that phrase where you make plans and God laughs, because He really knows our journey and He's
Oh
just
yeah,
looking at you like, that's what you think, huh? I'm
for
about to shock
sure.
the hell out of you.
Well, and the best part was like I was at a Bible college too. So like having that background and like hearing all the teachers go, "Oh yeah, well this is, this is part of God's plan. It's not your plan." Right? Well, as you're saying, like you can make all the plans and God's just going to laugh at you.
I'm just excited because I believe this new follower that I just got is because of you. But this guy is so. I think I'm about to learn hockey now because this guy is very,
Who is it?
very. Uh, Lee
Oh, that's
MJ
my best
Elias.
friend. Yeah.
Hi, best friend.
Yeah, no,
I,
Lee's actually he is the head of Hockey Wraparound. He's one of the hosts on Our Kids Play Hockey, actually one of the hosts on all the podcasts and kind of the head of all the companies that I work for. So, hey Lee.
Hey Lee, he followed me on Instagram. He needs to come and talk shit with Peter. I
He
might just
will.
learn.
He
I
will.
I might just learn hockey for him,
Perfect. Yeah, no, absolutely. I will hook you right up with him to get him scheduled on here because this is awesome.
Let's just send it around. I'll hook him up right away. Okay. All right. So I want to talk about building communities, right? You
sure.
you have the you are a community builder, and you do one thing that stood out that I really wanted us to talk about in your bio was turn casual audiences into dedicated followers. So, what does it mean to have a dedicated follower for those of us who don't know and want to have those dedicated followers?
For sure. So like you have dedicated followers who are always commenting on your posts, who are always sharing your stuff. The people who want to see more and make it known that they want to see more from your brand. Where I work, we have a product company, we've got some other companies that provide content. The dedicated followers, they love what we do and they love our products, right? We want them constantly coming back and wanting to hear from us. So the most important thing with that is trust, and we work really hard at building that trust and speaking to the audience, or speaking with the audience rather than to them. I'm going to hear about that one later if Lee's listening. But yeah, no, speaking with the audience, because if we're talking with them, they're talking back to us, right? And that's so important because we're learning what they want from us and we're able to give them more of what they want. So it's super important to be able to speak with them and gain their trust and have them, wanting more from us.
I love that, and that's so important. I tell people I don't care if I stay. I only have 500 followers, and I stay there as long as I have engagement, right? Because I'm
Right.
all about engagement. I don't care if I. What's the point of having 16K, 17K, and on your post there's nobody's engaging to what you're doing or you're talking
Exactly.
about. And just like how threads recently, I started seeing these people like, all all the ones who are into podcasting, whatever, drop, so I follow you, follow me, whatever. But I'm asking like, but what are you doing after you follow? Like, are we just following to add each other's numbers,
Right.
or are we actually following so we can after that continue staying connected and collaborate? Because I don't want to just follow people just because you're all are podcasters.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing with those follows is what
If we're not having engaging conversations, like what's the point? I kind of equate it to like email lists, right? You sign up for all these different companies' email lists and then they just throw information at you. And eventually you're not going to open their emails anymore. If they're
I
engaging with
unsubscribe.
you and they're giving you something that you want to see, like what we do with our email list is like we give them content. We give them stuff that we know that they already want to see, and it keeps them coming back and keeps them opening their email. But if it's just constantly sales, like that's not what somebody wants to see all the time in their inbox, and you wind up getting flooded. I recently had to had to clean out my inbox of 15,000 emails, mostly junk mail. So it's been a fun process with that, but that's kind of the thing, right? Like you don't want your feeds to just be constantly filled up with stuff that you don't really care about. And so that passionate follower who is engaged, like that's more like what you want anyway. I'd take 500 followers over 16,000 that aren't present. A lot of dead followers are not what I'm looking for.
And that's why I do house cleaning. Like every once a month, I go and I unfollow, because if I see like, okay, we are following each other, but you don't share my post, you don't comment, you don't engage with me, you don't even talk to me. Like, what's the point? Unless I really value your content and it's helping me. But otherwise, if we're just doing that because, oh, there goes another podcast, or because we have so many mutual friends. Of course, we're going to have so many mutual friends if you're following every fucking podcasters. Duh.
Right.
But I want to feel like, I'm all about connection. To me, it matters more on the connection and the collaboration and the support. It's more deeper than just a follow. So that's why I was like, I want dedicated followers. Like that's what I want. That's what I
Right.
crave. Like,
It's all about how you're networking with them, how you're talking with them. like I said, not talking to them, talking with them. That's the most important thing, is to be able to get their trust and, give them the attention that they deserve and what they're looking for. Because, there's also like accounts out there that get a ton of followers for one thing, and then they start posting other content. Those followers are now dead because you're not
Confusing
sharing.
them. Yeah, you
Yeah,
confuse them, and now they're like, I didn't come here for this shit.
right. So it's really important to be able to provide your community what they're looking for.
I love that. I love that, and that's so true. Um, Now I want to ask this, right? You have so much in your plate. Like, hold on. You have how many? You are a community manager. You run this podcast and photography, and of course you are a best friend. Like, we just met one of your best friends. You are a daughter. You are a sister. You are. How do you balance and as you said, you just went to clean up your email of thousands of emails. So how do you keep it balanced and show up as yourselves with that energy to all these things that you're doing?
I like to think that I am the same person regardless of where you meet me, right? So the energy is always there because of that. So anything that I'm doing, I'm Katelynn, right? That doesn't change. The way that I get everything done, and I laugh because this is a Lee thing, my calendar is super important. If it's not on the calendar and it happens without me.
Oh my God, me too. Like,
Yeah.
when I wake up, in between the day and in the evening, I have to check my calendar to make sure that I haven't forgotten shit. And
sure.
I miss certain things because sometimes you're just like, yeah, we'll call each other at 7, but if I didn't put it on my calendar, next thing I know it's 9. Oh shit, I was supposed to call you at 7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
But sorry.
And this has been like, super important to my life, because not just the calendar, but the to-do list feature, that is like massively important, right? I've got one list of all of my things that I have to get done. And it's a running list, so it's just constantly going. But within that list, I've got different sections for each project that I'm overseeing. So like I've got an Our Kids Play Hockey list within my to-do list. I've got a wraparound list within my to-do list, right? So just having that and then keeping tight deadlines on things is like super important too, because if there's not a deadline on it, it's probably not getting done.
And how do you prioritize? Like, if you have all these things, right? And you also have to have your shit done, and you also gotta rest, right? How do you prioritize? Like,
yeah. So wraparound is always primary, right? That's our biggest, most dedicated following. So I talk to wraparound constantly. And by talking to wraparound, I mean I'm on that page, I'm interacting with our followers. I'm constantly making sure that everything is good with wraparound. From there, we've got different release dates for all of my podcasts. So whatever is coming up next, I have to make sure that that's done. It's really all deadline based, and like whatever is coming up, that's what has to get done. Now we just launched a new product brand, so I'm trying to figure out that workflow and get that into the mix. But creating a new workflow is super important for anybody that has a ton of stuff on their plate, is just having a really tight workflow and making sure that you know what needs to get done when it needs to get done. Like I said, the deadlines are really important for prioritizing, because you could have a deadline for one thing, but then like something else, like I said, wraparound is paramount to everything. So if there's a wraparound thing that needs to get done, I can push off a deadline to a little bit to make sure that wraparound thing gets done.
I love that. I suck at I suck at discipline, right? And that was my word this year. And I was doing so well in January. Then I went to Podfest, and when I came back, like things just went under the drain.
Well, Podfest was a big party, so I totally understand.
Podfest is just Podfest.
It's a party.
Was this your first Podfest?
It sure was. Yeah, Podfest was amazing.
Love it. I need to add you on my list. I'm doing something for the first time. Are you coming back next year?
I'm planning to. I'm actually hoping to speak next year.
I love that. You know, the deadline is on the 31st, so please apply. Will you be bringing Lee next year?
So maybe. We'll see about that. He gets paid to speak. That's one of our brands. So we'll see.
I
about
like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
Well,
love to bring him.
he doesn't need to speak. He just needs to come and party with me. You know?
His time is more busy than my time, so I need to be able to protect that a little bit for him. But we'll see about him coming down with me next year.
I love that. I love that. So my thing, my biggest issue, right? I was saying discipline, and I'm trying to. I've realized that in order to have a good workflow, in order to be able to prioritize and stay getting shit done, because I am in my own way, because I just don't prioritize or take it. I don't have the discipline in there. So I am trying so hard to get back on my discipline part, because certain things, you look at it, it took you 6 months, but if you were just disciplined, it could have taken you 3 months, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's why deadlines are important, right? Because I say that if I don't deadline something, it doesn't get done. That's not true. It doesn't get done until 6 months from now. So
It will get done eventually, just not as fast.
Even if it doesn't need a deadline, if it's not something that's deadlined by anybody but yourself, just give it a deadline. If you don't say, hey, I want to get this done by Friday, it's not getting done by Friday, like regardless of what you do or what you say. So I would suggest just looking into that to-do list app. It's just on the iPhone, and it's built in and it's free. So I would look at that, because you can set deadlines just on there and set priority too.
It's funny you say that, because iPhone does have a lot of I'm pretty sure even Android does. I don't know. I'm not an Android user, but I just don't want Android people to come for me. But I'm speaking on what what I know. But they have so many features that help with your work that we never use, because for some reason our phones are just for social media, right?
Right.
That's all we know. But recently I'm coming to realize there's all these accessible free shit that iPhone has for you to help with your workflow, and I'm like, I need to really prioritize this. Like recently they just rolled out with their new thingy that's called Journal, where you can also journal in there on the go. So if you can't afford to buy a notebook or a cute journal, you have the journal app in your phone for free. Like,
for sure. And just to show everybody, this is my to-do list, right? And everything is on there and it's prioritized and deadlined. So without that, I'm lost.
I want to be as organized as you. Like, teach me your ways. Maybe this is why we were meant to connect, so that you can inspire me to be.
I will.
Because I want to be as busy as you. And here's the thing: back in the days, I used to be so busy, and I thought it was, I like staying busy, right?
Sure.
But then I realized there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Like, I was being busy, but when I look at what the fuck was I actually doing productively, nothing, right?
Right.
But now I'm in this new journey of where literally I'm working on my creating my consultation firm. I have my podcast. I've built shit up. So I'm really building my brand, but I also want to learn how to really prioritize and to stay disciplined and to actually be able to be busy in a productive way, because I like being busy. Because if I have any time, that's the thing, I might end up like I get into that funk of let me just chill, and then I'll stay in that let me chill mode, especially when the weather is like this. I'll be like, it will get done tomorrow. And the next thing I know, it has been a week of just, and this thing of giving yourself grace. I'm like, okay, Paula, you've given yourself enough grace. Now get the fuck up and do some shit.
Where is that line between grace and laziness? That's what we need to figure out.
That's the thing. I was just telling somebody, I was like, learning that yes, I'm gonna give myself grace, all my friends, but I'm also gonna give tough love like this. Because sometimes we take this, give yourself grace, and you run with it like the entire month you're giving yourself grace. No, no, we're not doing that. So there has to be that fine line where, okay, now get up and do this shit
Yeah.
because no more grace for you. Like you have run through your grace for the entire year.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. But yeah, I'd love to, share some tips with you on organization and just getting yourself to that place where, like you said, busy is good, but productive is so much better.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. See, I'm giving you different ideas of future brands. You can now start charging people to, you need your life organized? I got tips for you. Pay me, bitch, so I can show you how to do it.
Exactly.
So I wanna ask, right? Pickleball, it's so funny because what's the difference between pickleball and tennis? Like,
So,
apart from the sizes of the racks.
yeah, it's funny. Pickleball, I like to say that it's table tennis, but if it was wizard chess. So you've seen Harry Potter, right?
Nope.
No. So in the first book, they play chess on a life-size chessboard where they are the actual pieces of chess, like for the game.
So they're the moving, but
Yeah.
then how? Okay.
So table tennis is obviously played on a table. Pickleball is a smaller court, played with a smaller plastic ball, and it's very similar to the rules of table tennis. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot less like impact on your body too. So people of all ages can play.
It's so ridiculous. Table tennis, ping pong, pickleball, tennis. Like it just couldn't be one sport. So let me ask you this: if you are good at pickleball, does it mean that on table tennis or ping pong you're also as good?
No, I would not say that. I'm just kind of comparing the size of it. It's not even really the same rules, but it it's a lot of fun. I'm not an expert on pickleball yet. I'm still working on that.
You're getting there.
I'm getting there. We literally just launched the brand 2 weeks ago. If you check out 20x44.net, you'll see all of our paddle, or you'll see our paddle, our first paddle. We have the V1 out right now. But with that, since I'm the community manager for that brand, my goal has been to get out into the community and get to know the community, and get to know our products to that next level where I'm now playing and getting to experience what a typical pickleball player is experiencing. Get to know the
'cause
jargon and all of that
you
fun stuff.
gotta walk the talk, right?
Exactly. I don't go back to having quality followers. You want to be a quality community manager who's putting stuff out that knows what they're talking about and how to speak to the people too. And I didn't feel like I was at a place where I could do that without having, been in the community. So
Yeah, it's like when somebody comes and sells you, let's say, a car, right? Oh, let's not say a car. Like they're trying to sell you the Stanley Cup, right? But then they're using a Yeti or something. I'm like, how are you trying to sell me something that you yourself are not using or partaking, right? It's like ridiculous. Like I'm not gonna buy shit from you if you're not using your own shit. That's why I also wear
right.
my own brand. If I want people to buy my shit, they gotta see me actually rocking my shit. Because why should we buy your shit if you're not rocking your own shit?
Right. Exactly. So that's, I'm out there, I'm using our paddle, I'm letting other people use my paddle, so that they get the feel of it and they see the value in it. It's the paddle itself is right up with the other professional brands. It's just so new that it doesn't have the brand recognition yet. The name of the brand is 20x44, which is the dimensions of a pickleball court. So that's been really cool to get to tell people and help them learn about the sport itself, because that's been like the goal of my first few posts with the brand is to just give some background into the sport, because we're not just for the professional player, we're for the people that are coming into it like myself. But the paddles are really, really good, and they're, like I said, right up there with the other professional brands. So something I'm really proud of.
We need to come and see these paddles. The way you're talking about these paddles is like, oh my God, I want to see this damn ass paddle. But that's amazing, and I like that you actually walk the talk. I am all about people who preach what they practice what they preach, right?
For sure.
And that's why I could never also be like a sales person, because I was like, I don't believe in this shit that you're trying to get me to sell, like, you
Right.
know. And people can tell, because when you actually believe in something, or you have tried it, or you speak with so much confidence, because you're really not trying to sell it on them, but you're really just proud about this product that you're sharing.
Right.
And whether you buy it or not, that's fine. I'm still fucking proud of it.
Exactly. And I will say, like, I didn't have any input into the production of the paddles. We do have somebody on our staff who is a professional pickleball player, so he had a lot of input in the process, and we wanted to make sure that, you know, it was good for the pickleball community. And we launched it with the idea of, it might not be a perfect paddle, but it's a really good paddle, and we want to hear from the community what we can do to improve. So there is a V2 already in the works of our paddle, and you know, we're gonna keep trying to level up with what we have.
It's so funny. Every time I hear you say paddle, I'm just like, my mind works so weirdly. But what made you guys like what made you guys decide? Because it's everything has been hockey. So why did you guys end up drifting to the pickleball
So
side?
we're still in hockey, and what's really cool is, like, pickleball is just, like, growing so rapidly.
I've heard, for a person who recently just started hearing about pickleball, like I know it has been there, but recently it's like everywhere I hear about pickleball.
It's massive, and it's becoming a professional sport, which is really, really cool. So we wanted to jump into it while the community was, you know, surging. And then on top of it, like, there's a lot of hockey players that go from hockey to pickleball. Like, it translates oddly well. And that being said, like, there's a lot of professional athletes of every nature who are transitioning into playing pickleball as well. So it's been a really cool journey to be able to see, like, all the different hockey players playing and all the different football players playing. I heard Gronkowski is playing pickleball. I think there's actually a commercial where Gronk is playing pickleball. So that's really cool too.
Nice. I wonder if Wally will transition from ping pong to pickleball. Did you get a chance to play?
Not ping pong. Oh, Wally. I actually talked to Wally about pickleball, so I got to reconnect with him.
Did you get to play ping pong with him? Damn, that would have been like, let's put your pickleball to use. Let's see how good they come on the ping pong table.
That was actually something that Wally and I talked about, so keep an eye out for that, because like I said, I got to reconnect with him, but we were chatting about maybe doing some content around that.
Yeah, and because Philly and New York ain't that far from each other, so
if I'm not wrong, he owns a company called Spin. And there's actually a Spin in Philadelphia, so we were chatting about maybe him coming down here and us doing some content at Spin.
Yes, that would be dope. Fingers crossed on that. And right after this, I'ma shoot him a message and be like, bruh, I better see you do this shit, because I'm all about. There's nothing beautiful than seeing people who met, especially Podfest, because of course, Podfest is everything to me. But to see people meeting and then collaborations happening after that, like, and it's not just Podfest, like whatever community you're part of, right, or whatever networking event you go to or conference, like you meet people. And sometimes it just ends there, right? People just say, yeah, we reach out or we will connect. And then it never happens until next time you meet again in the same conference. You're like, damn, we were supposed to. So when people actually take that time and the action to actually put into nurturing those connections and working together, beautiful things happen. And I love to see that. I love being a part of that. So
For sure. And networking is one of my favorite topics too. Like fearless networking is one of the things that I value, and it's gotten me kind of where I'm at today is just networking and putting the work in that way. And how I've been able to get a lot of the guests that I've had on our podcasts.
nice. You need to come back for another time and we'll talk more about networking, because that's also one of my favorite things. And I think
For
people
sure.
need to do more. And I get it. Yes, online is fine, but there's something different about in-person networking with people.
Right.
And like,
Well, I mean, you're a master networker, Paula. Like what I witnessed of you at Podfest, like you're amazing. So
thank you. I just love meeting people, and I believe no matter your age, your background, your whatever, there's something that is fascinating about you, and I just want to be a part of it. That's just who I am. Like, I just love that. That's why sometimes even when I see people just standing and like having a good time, like I'll just walk up and be there because I want to be a part of this. Like,
right?
there's that form of me about it. People have FOMO in other things. I just have FOMO when I see people connecting and I'm not part of it. Like, how you're networking and connecting without me? Like,
right?
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? I need to be in this conversation.
Like, and that's how I met a lot of people at Podfest, because you won't find me just sitting in a corner unless like I'm
No.
really hiding for 5 minutes to just take a break, because
Right.
I am a most wanted commodity at Podfest, if I say so
know,
myself.
Paula, I think there was a room that I was in at Podfest where I didn't see you during the time that I was in that room. Like, I think you were everywhere all at once.
That's what people say. They're like, how are you everywhere and nowhere at the same time? Because there's
Right.
certain things when I look at the pictures, I'm like, that happened? Where was I? Like, that happened? But then also in my head, I'm like, but I was almost everywhere. Like, do you know, on the last day, right? The wait, and it's funny because this also happened yesterday. I was at the diner with Chris, and this waiter came, and they were like, "Oh, you know Paula?" I was like, "Yeah, we know Paula." And then the same thing happened at Podfest, right? Because a lot of people, whenever I would just walk into a place, people would just assume like maybe somebody doesn't know me, and they'd be like, "Oh, have you met Paula?" They'd be like, "Who doesn't know Paula?" And at the last day, the bartender, like, we were all just ready to leave that Sunday, and I was getting a beer, and this bartender, the guy was like, "Oh," because he was sitting there talking to the bartender for a minute, and I just came in. It's like, "Have you met Paula?" And the bartender was like, "Yeah, we know Paula." And I'm like, "Okay, I need to leave. I have officially everybody."
Is that a bad thing or a good thing when the bartender knows who you are at a conference?
I mean, if I say so myself, I always had a beer in my hand.
You did the whole time. That's the things about you, Paula. You were in every single room all at the same time, and you had a beer.
And it's funny because I was always up and about at 7:00 because I was volunteering, and I was the last one to go to bed. Even my roommates were like, "How are you always with a beer? You're the last one to sleep, the first one to wake up, and still in this energy." I'm like,
I didn't have near that amount of energy, and I think I got probably too much sleep there because there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to do.
Power of Podfest. But and that's the thing, because I feel like I'm in this place with people who understand my language, like content creators and podcasters. Because once you go home, people are tired of listening to you talk about your podcast and your content creator. Yes, we get it. You create content. Can you shut up now? But you're in this room with all these people and energies. You're like, no, I'm gonna sleep once I get home. I want to meet everybody.
Exactly.
I want to talk as much. I want to hear as much. I want to learn as much. I want to party as much. I want to enjoy as much. But on that last day was like, I don't want to leave, but I'm so ready to leave. Like, that's why I was like, I want my bed. I miss my bed. I want to rest. I am drained and tired, but also I don't want to leave you all, like, that's waking up and just being around all this energy.
So I call that post-event depression. I've had that for
It's a
other
real
things.
thing. It's a
Yeah.
real thing.
I get home and I just cry, you know, like, oh my God, it's over. Like, I don't get to do this again tomorrow. That's
And
sad.
then and then you start seeing people, because now everybody is going. Now everybody is posting on Facebook all the pictures, and you're like, can we go back? Can we go back? Can you stop posting? Can you stop posting?
Right.
But yeah, it's beautiful. And even like yesterday, just being with Chris, I'm like, oh my God, it feels like a mini, because I was with Chris, and today I get to see Andrew and Salisha. So it's like, oh my God, you're in Atlanta, but you're leaving tomorrow. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
a thing. But also, I want to talk a little bit about I know your podcast, this one got best hockey podcast in 2023 and 2024. So share a little bit about that, and congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so Our Kids Play Hockey. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's three parents who come together each week to talk about youth hockey and share their advice for other parents who are going through youth hockey and raising great people through the platform that is hockey. And that was really what we started with. We started back in fall 2020, October 2020. And we've just seen it take off. We have a really dedicated audience who comes back each week and listens each week, and we couldn't be more thankful for them. But we really just wanted to, offer some parents some advice and get to know the hockey community and share our experiences. I'm not a hockey parent, but I'm the producer of the show, so it's been really cool to see the progression of that. And we bring on really valuable guests. We've had NHL general managers, we've had NHL players on, we've had NHL parents on, parents of NHL players, just to talk about like their own journeys and how they got their kids to that point, because the NHL is the highest stage in hockey. We've had coaches on, we've had just youth hockey parents in general on to share their stories. We've had authors. It's a lot of fun, and we record each week and release each week. We release 2 shows every week. We have a micro podcast, which is something that I really value. But it's been a lot of fun, and we applied for this award. We were asked to apply for this award back in 23. And we just kind of thought like, oh, maybe we'll, get shortlisted or something fun like that. And then we did get shortlisted, and we were like, oh, wow, that's really, really cool. Like, what are the chances that we potentially win? We were
And you
competing.
won.
Right. We were competing with some like really big name podcasts, some, NHL level podcasts that are hosted by players. And we were really shocked, grateful that we were selected to win that first year. And then we figured we'd try it again this year, and we did, and we were, pleasantly surprised again that we won. We were again up against some really big names. One of the shows actually went viral during the voting period. One of the other shows went viral during the voting period. So
Nice.
it was really, really cool to like see the support come out for us.
I love that. And I think that's the good thing about awards, right? We always think about our shows so small. We always assume that why would they pick me, especially when we see all these big other shows. But there is something unique about all our shows, however big or small it is. And that's why I love awards, because you go in there thinking, I'm just doing it just so, even if I get, nominated but don't win, like at least I can say I nominated, whatever. But then you
Right.
get to win, and it's like, we're really doing the damn thing, because you
Right.
guys are.
It's just so cool, and we're so grateful, because we really started like we weren't sure how big it was going to get, right? We just wanted to share some advice and have fun, and we call it hockey therapy for ourselves, really, because our hosts like need this each week sometimes. So like it was really just started out of our love for youth hockey and wanting to support that community. So to just see how far it's come has been really, really cool.
I love that. Well, we are coming to an end of this, but before we do go, I've had so much fun chatting it up with you, and you definitely need to come back so we can talk more
Absolutely.
networking. But let the people know about all the other shows you got going on, what they need to know. And a little advice for those people who want to have a community filled with dedicated followers, not just a community of
For sure.
bullshit.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you can, as it says on the screen, follow me at Reissmode, REISSMODE. From there, you'll probably find all of my other entities as I share everything on my story. I actually had somebody tell me that they were tired of seeing the paddle on my story. So that was fun. They were like, if I see another pickleball paddle. But yeah, so if you follow me there, you'll find all the rest if you just pay attention. But some advice for somebody who wants to grow a great community, again, is just speak with your audience, get to know them, show that you're trustworthy, and provide them what they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, like you if you do that, like you become the authority on it, and they're going to keep coming back to you, and they'll bring their friends too.
I love that. Thank you so much. So because I'm not hockey fan and I don't know anything about hockey, when is hockey season?
Hockey season's right now, so it starts in October, and the regular season goes through April, and then playoffs start late April and end around mid-June.
So in short, from October to June is hockey season. So you all just get the summer off.
Basically, yeah. Just like school.
I love that. I now that I know, I need to come to Philadelphia so you can take me to my first hockey game.
Oh, absolutely, Paula. I'll take you to your first hockey game. Come on up.
I'm coming to Philly, baby. Tell Lee I'm coming to see him.
For sure.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I had a blast. For all those who are watching live, thank you for chilling with us. Oh my God, there was a comment. Oh, hi, oh, Mark. Hi. I did not see that. Thank you for joining us, Mark. And for all those who are going to watch replay, I hope you learned as much about hockey as I did. I hope you learned about dedicated followers. Stop just asking for followers and actually want dedicated followers, community building, social media, and all the amazing things about workflow, to-do list, calendar, how to get disciplined in your shit. Like, this was a mixture of every nugget in here. Like, Katelynn came and brought it on and gave us all the tools we need. So thank you. That's why I'm saying she definitely has to come back and talk about networking, because I love to network. I love networking, and I feel that the biggest way to succeed is through networking and community. So they go hand in hand, but you got a network to find your community.
I have to leave one more nugget. Zach.
Yes, please,
Zach
drop
Demopoulos, if you've met him at Podfest, which I'm sure you have, Paula, Zach. He calls it friend working, and he would be very upset with me if I did not mention friend working, because you're not just looking to network, you're looking to build friendships.
Are you talking about Big Z?
Oh, of course. Yes.
Oh, I love Zach. I told him, sadly, Zach, we all lost a friend. Rest in peace, Lee. And Lee was Zach's best friend. So actually, yesterday, I messaged you because I've been checking up on him, and I told him, not that I'm saying Lee is replaceable. No, he's not. But I know there's a open spot for a best friend, and I'm running for it. And he was just like, "Oh my God, Paula."
He's a fantastic person, and I'm really grateful to have met him at Podfest as well. So, like I said, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention friend working and the lessons that Zach taught me.
Friend working, I love that. I'm gonna text him again. So you see, you're making me text Wally and Zach. I'll be like, y'all better thank Katelynn, because she's the reason why I'm checking on y'all today and reminding y'all to go do the damn thing. So you see?
For sure.
Power of networking. But thank you so much. And until next time, when shit happens, where shit always happens.